Welcome back to the Chord by Chord series. In the last episode, we harmonized a do-re-mi bass line using voice exchange in an upper voice. But that's not the only way composers made this connection. Another common approach is to send the upper voice in the same direction, moving it in parallel tenths with the bass. Mi, fa, sol above the bass's do, re, mi. Again, the first and last chords will be 1 and 1/6, and there are two options for the middle chord. And just like last time, both options are entirely stepwise. Option 1, the 5/4/3 chord. Usually, we'll put the mi, fa, sol line in the soprano since it's melodic. Then the inner voices move 1/7/1 and 5/5/5. Sound familiar? Those inner voices are exactly the same as the last episode. The difference is simply that the soprano now moves with the bass in parallel motion instead of in contrary motion against it. Option 2, the 7 diminished 6 chord. 3 of the 4 voices are the same as the previous example, but instead of 5/5/5, that voice descends 5/4/3. Here, that 5/4/3 line creates voice exchange with the voice moving 3/4/5. This option leads to a doubled third in the 1/6 chord, which some people avoid, but Bach uses it all the time. Quick tip, remember the upper 3 voices must stay within 1 octave of their neighbors. When connecting 1 to 7/6 to 1/6, don't put the 2 voice exchange lines right next to each other, or they'll drift more than an octave apart. That's why when Bach does it, he places those 2 lines in the soprano and the tenor, with the alto resolving the leading tone in between the 2. Just as before, these 2 progressions work perfectly in minor keys and in reverse, creating imperfect authentic cadences at phrase endings. And just like last time, the 5/4/3 chord and the 7/6 chord are actually incredibly difficult to distinguish by ear, and composers use them in the same places. Just remember that in these progressions, if one voice stays on 5 the whole time, it must be some type of 5 chord. If all of the voices move, it's probably a 7/6. Now, we're not done yet. Let's take a closer look at that 5/4/3 chord. It's a dominant 7th chord in second inversion. The bass is on the 5th of the chord, the soprano is on the 7th, and the inner voices are filling in the root and the 3rd. Notice anything odd? Check out the soprano, who is on the 7th of the chord. Normally, chordal 7ths resolve down by step, but here it resolves up to scale degree 5. Is that even allowed? Yes, and this is a special case. This is literally the only place where the chordal 7th steps up instead of down in all of tonal music. Why? Most likely because the parallel tenths came first. The added voices then turn those tenths into a 7th chord, but the ear prioritizes the smoothness of the parallel tenths, plus the stepwise motion of all the parts, over the usual the 7th must resolve down rule. Of all the progressions we saw today, only the one moving from 1 to 5/4/3 to 1/6 has the chordal 7th going the wrong way. When the progression goes in reverse, the 7th resolves down as expected. And the 7/6 triad doesn't even contain a chordal 7th at all, so you don't even need to worry about it. Now, you may have noticed that both in this episode and the previous episode, I covered the same chord progression 1, 7/6, 1/6. That's not a coincidence. What I want you to see is that the harmony came after the voice leading. The real compositional goal was to simply harmonize a do-re-mi line. In the first video, we did it with voice exchange. In this one, with parallel tenths. The chords are a byproduct of expanding those lines into 4 voices. Thinking this way will help you treat harmony as an interaction of independent melodies, not just as a string of chord symbols. So, to recap these 2 episodes, when the bass moves do, re, mi, using a 5/6/4 chord creates voice exchange in an upper voice. Using a 5/4/3 chord creates parallel tenths. And by using a 7/6 chord, you can use voice exchange or parallel tenths. And they all work in reverse and work in both major and minor keys. The 7/6 chord is actually a little more flexible here compared to the much stricter use of the 5/6/4 and the 5/4/3. We'll see that in even more detail in the next video where we give the 7/6 chord our full attention. If this series is helping you understand how voice leading shapes chord progressions, please like and subscribe and follow along. There's still a lot more to come. See you next time on Dr. Fromm's Music Lab.